Hold on. Holiday spirit activate. Holiday spirit activate. Holiday spirit activate. 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 Okay, let's go. Welcome to Teacup for One. My name is Matt and I have 2 degrees. Okay, friends, the holiday season is upon us. We've already started to ring in the season a little bit here on the channel. Of course, I'm rebroadcasting my original web series, #Scrooge. Please check that out. I worked really hard on it last year and hardly anyone's watching it. We've also talked about West Side Story. Not really anything to do with Christmas, but it is like one of those holiday blockbuster movies. But today, we're going full Christmas. And one of my favorite things to get into the holiday spirit is to revisit some of the TV Christmas specials that I grew up with. And it really got me to thinking, I wonder how many people have actually heard of and or seen the ones that I consider my favorites. So that inspired today's video. Today we are going to be counting down Matt's top 5 obscure TV Christmas specials that you may have forgotten about and probably have never heard of. Pretty long for the title of the video. We'll see if that makes the cut. So most of these are specials that I grew up with at various stages of my life, and I have said it before and I'll say it again. I think I grew up during the best era of kids/family television programming in the early 90s. It's also around the same time as the Disney Renaissance, and I think that just proves my point because that's probably why there are so many weird, kooky Disney adults in their early to mid 30s right now. It's because we had the best era of Disney/family programming growing up, and that very heavily inspired the list that we're about to go through together. So, that said, without any further ado, let's go through this list. Coming in at number 5, Pee-wee's Christmas Special. If you haven't seen the Pee-wee Herman Christmas Special, there are really no words I can use to describe it or to do it justice. It's just like all the weird, wacky trippiness of the Pee-wee Herman show, but just Christmasified. And I think the wackiness of Pee-wee Herman just suits the holidays so well. And the thing that's really special about the Pee-wee Herman Christmas Special is that it's kind of a parody of these classic TV Christmas specials that I'm assuming were floating around in like the 70s and the 80s, like Donnie and Marie's Christmas Special, where you had a block of time on TV, maybe an hour to 2 hours, where you had your celebrity hosts, and then they had a bunch of celebrity guests coming in and out as though they're visiting for a holiday party, and each one maybe does a song or something. I don't know. I wasn't around then. But what I love about the Pee-wee Herman Holiday Special is that it's taking that format and it's doing it, but at the same time, it's kind of making fun of it. So Pee-wee just has this giant list of celebrity guests, but he's giving more time and attention to the guests that he has on his show every day. And it's not just that he has all these celebrity guests, it's just the fact that he's treating them with absolutely no reverence or respect. Like Whoopi Goldberg calls in and says that she wants to be a guest on his Christmas special. Then he says, sorry, Whoopi, I can maybe pencil you in 2 years from now and put you on the waiting list for next year. And like Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello are put to work to make Pee-wee like 500 Christmas cards. But all jokes aside, the guest list that they put together for this Christmas special is incredible. And it's not even one of those like lineups of celebrities that you look back on and think, wow, that's so like 1988, 1989. No, they got people who have kind of transcended generations. People like Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, Cher. I mean, if you're able to find the Pee-wee Herman Christmas Special, 100% just let go of any preconceptions you have about what reality is and just enjoy it. Number 4. Elmo Saves Christmas. Elmo Saves Christmas came out the same year as Titanic. Not relevant, but I think worth noting. And this is the thing, Elmo Saves Christmas, it just has that magic that pretty well everything that comes out of the Sesame Workshop has. Where yes, it's clearly geared towards a younger audience, but it's still written smart enough that it's not belittling their intelligence, and I think that also means that it's a more enjoyable viewing experience for the families of those young children. I rewatched Elmo Saves Christmas just for the nostalgic kick 2 or 3 years ago, and I was shocked at how well it actually held up. It's got a really cute, fun story. The log line essentially is that Elmo wishes it could be Christmas every day, and because he saved Santa Claus's life or something, Santa grants him that wish. I think there's a magical snow globe involved somehow, and then Elmo is given the power of time travel through a magical sleigh and an adorable reindeer Muppet named Lightning to travel 1 year into the future to see how people are handling having Christmas during every season. Then when he gets to December 25th the following year, he sees that Christmas every day just ruins the magic. And it's such a simple story, but you know, it plays into everything that speaks to my heart. Muppets, Christmas, time travel. That's all a Matt wants. One of the things I distinctly remember about Elmo Saves Christmas is this running gag that the only thing people are able to watch is It's a Wonderful Life, because since it's Christmas every day, that's the only thing that's on TV.
Hey, what's happened to this house? Wait, where's Mary? Where's my kids?
Watch him, Bert.
Bert, Ernie, what's the matter with you two guys? You were here on my wedding night. You both of you stood out there on the porch and sung to us, don't you remember?
And this is actually the reason that I saw It's a Wonderful Life for the first time. I was probably somewhere between 10 to 11 years old when Elmo Saves Christmas came out, and they make such a big deal of It's a Wonderful Life in Elmo Saves Christmas that it just made me think, I want to see this movie that they have to watch every day. And that was my first introduction to a Christmas classic in its own right. So, you know, Elmo Saves Christmas. It's great. It's teaching the kids a valuable lesson about how Christmas is special because it's only once a year. It's also giving them a little bit of culture because it's exposing them to It's a Wonderful Life. And I didn't mention this. I saved this for last because I think it's the strangest but most wonderful thing about Elmo Saves Christmas. It is narrated by Maya Angelou. I don't know why, but I'm thankful for it. Number 3, Mickey's Nutcracker. Mickey's Nutcracker is a reminder to me that we need to be grateful to the internet and to YouTube for providing us with these lost gems from our past and from our childhoods. And that's something we can be grateful for 365 days out of the year. This is the thing with Mickey's Nutcracker. I saw Mickey's Nutcracker, maybe I was lucky enough to see it once in its entirety as a kid, but it stuck with me as being the most magical Disney Christmas special of all time. I saw it on the Family Channel, which is like the watered down Canadian version of the Disney Channel, or at least it was back in the day. It got like 40% of the Disney Channel's content, but like not the good 40%. And so anyway, I was lucky enough to see Mickey's Nutcracker maybe one Christmas, and then I just waited eagerly every year for it to come on again, and very rarely did it ever happen. It got to the point where I started to question, did I actually see Mickey's Nutcracker ever, or was this just a weird Christmassy candy-induced fever dream that I was having? Well, thanks to the magic of the internet, I discovered that Mickey's Nutcracker is a very real thing. It's a filmed stage production that I'm assuming went up at Disneyland in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, like I would say 91, 92 at the absolute latest. And I really have no context for why this show exists, but I'm so happy that it does. The production value is on an entirely different level from anything that we see nowadays on Broadway, in theme parks, or whatever. Like the sets, the costumes, the number of cast members that they have, it is just mind-blowingly good. I'm assuming that Mickey's Nutcracker was kind of a spiritual sequel to Mickey's Christmas Carol, and I wish that that was a structure that they ran with a little bit more. Just take a Christmas classic and make it Disney. But I've spoken about this on the channel before. I have this ongoing gripe with Disney and the Nutcracker, because the Nutcracker, the music, the story, the holiday cheer, everything about the Nutcracker is so magical. And Disney has had chances to adapt the Nutcracker for the big screen, and they have wasted every single one. What they did to the Nutcracker in Fantasia, it was like, I don't know, it was like someone was offering me candy, and then instead of the candy, they gave me a National Geographic magazine. Then they had a chance to redeem themselves a few years ago with the Keira Knightley movie, and just don't get me started on that. Mickey's Nutcracker is everything that a Disney adaptation of the Nutcracker should be. It's taking advantage of the colorful characters, it's taking advantage of this incredible classic Disney-style villain in the Rat King, and what is extra magical about it is it's doing what I want from a Nutcracker adaptation. It's taking Tchaikovsky's music, and then it's rearranging it into this fun big band swing style. It's adding lyrics. It's basically turning the Nutcracker into a big Broadway-style musical. Minnie Mouse is the main attraction, and it's just so perfectly balanced between Disney characters that we know and love, but legit live performers, and I cannot speak highly enough of Mickey's Nutcracker. It's only a half hour, but it's amazing. You need to see it. Number 2, It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. Now, this is not to be confused with Muppet Family Christmas. I know, like, everyone and their grandmother and their dog loves Muppet Family Christmas. I'm not one of those people. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just slightly dead inside for that type of nostalgia, but like Muppet Family Christmas, it didn't even appeal to me as a youngster. When I was a kid, my favorite Muppet Christmas special was Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. Nothing beats Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. Aside from It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie came out, probably around 2002, 2003. I remember I was in high school and I just stumbled upon it by mistake. It was on TV one night and I started watching it because obviously the Muppets, but it was hilarious. And I have said time and time again that It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie is the last Muppet thing to really honor the spirit of the Muppets. I'm sure there are diehard Muppet fans who would disagree with me, but up until Muppet Haunted Mansion, I don't think anything really honored the comedy and the humor of the Muppets. I think they started to fall a little bit flat, and the reason that I love it is it has all the trademarks of a truly great Muppet special or a truly great Muppet film. It has the kind of tired and overdone plotline of the Muppets having to save the Muppet Theater, but it does it so geniusly. It layers in all these great, hilarious, and clever celebrity cameos, including Whoopi Goldberg. She just seems to be a celebrity cameo in all Christmas-related things, and it has so many hilarious Muppet parodies. So part of their ploy to try to save the Muppet Theater is putting on different shows, different holiday shows, and the one that sticks out in my head is called Moulin Scrooge, and it is a full Muppet Moulin Rouge parody. Piggy comes down from the ceiling on a swing like Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge, and she's saltine. And then they have all of Gonzo's chickens as the Moulin Rouge can-can dancers. It is genius. And aside from like the funny parodies, I love it just because of the pure Muppety heart. To give some perspective on what exactly this special is, this is the Muppets doing It's a Wonderful Life. So we've seen the Muppets do Muppet Christmas Carol, and that was genius and the best Christmas Carol adaptation far and away, but that's another topic for another video that might happen this year. I don't know. Time is precious. But this is Muppets doing It's a Wonderful Life. But it's not like they're recreating the movie. So it's not, Kermit as George Bailey, but Kermit going through the George Bailey experience. So Kermit, feeling like he's failed the Muppets because they're about to lose the Muppet Theater, makes a wish on Christmas Eve that he had never been born. Then an angel, played by David Arquette, comes down from the good place and shows Kermit an alternate reality in which he had never been born. And it does get kind of weird and kind of dark seeing the world without Kermit. Although one thing that I liked is that Piggy becomes a crazy cat lady and she has an apron that says Felines Navidad. I need that on a shirt. But I don't know, there's something so emotionally resonant about seeing Kermit at George Bailey levels of Christmas depression, and then it's just that much more powerful when he comes out of it and sees what a difference he has made in the lives of all of his friends and family. So, if you just take the emotional experience of It's a Wonderful Life, but then layer in everyone's favorite frog, nothing beats it. Well, one thing beats it. Speaking of segues, here we are. The final moment of truth, my number one all-time favorite, obscure and long-forgotten Christmas television special. Brace yourselves, because my Canadian is about to show. Like, we're about to go full out with the Canadianness here, alright? The best television Christmas special of all time is Sharon, Lois and Bram's Candles, Snow, and Mistletoe. I love it so much. If you're not a Canadian, I feel so bad for you. But we grew up with the best children's entertainment team ever, Sharon, Lois, and Bram. They're the wonderful pioneers who gave us Skinnamarink Dinky Dink, Skinnamarink Doo, I Love You. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And they had this amazing Christmas/Hanukkah album, which was called Candle, Snow, and Mistletoe. And they also adapted it into a television special. And the reason that I love it so much is because it's in the vein of all the things I've already spoken about. So it has that fun Christmas variety show element that we saw with Pee-wee's Christmas special. It has the great, well-written family entertainment vibe that we saw with Elmo Saves Christmas, but like not in a way that's pandering to kids or talking down to them. It's just treating them like adults and giving them good quality entertainment, which is something that I care very deeply about. It has the big costumes and colorful sets and the same production value that we saw in Mickey's Nutcracker. Well, maybe not exactly the same because this wasn't Disney, it was still like a low-budget CBC production, but the heart was there. But the thing that makes Candle, Snow, and Mistletoe stand out and still hold up today 100% is the music. Like I said, Candle, Snow, and Mistletoe was an album. I think it was an album before the special, or maybe they came out in tandem. But it's this brilliant holiday album celebrating both Christmas and Hanukkah. And what makes it so good is that aside from being children's entertainers, Sharon, Lois, and Bram were and are legitimate musicians, just at the top of their craft. So the songs on this album are incredible. Candle, Snow, and Mistletoe really shaped my taste in holiday music. It is the ultimate holiday album because it covers all the bases. So there's classic Christmas songs like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and 12 Days of Christmas. There are traditional Hanukkah songs like the Dreidel Song or O Hanukkah. And I think they wrote a song called I'm a Little Latka. It's adorable. And remember what I was saying about how much I love Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker score? They wrote adorable lyrics to the Nutcracker suite, which I still hear in my head anytime I hear the Nutcracker playing. And there's even show tunes. The entire album opens up with We Need a Little Christmas, which years later I discovered is from Mame, the musical. It's the only reason to ever pay any attention to Mame, the musical, because there's just that one song that's good. The rest of it is trash. Oh, and one of my absolute favorites, it's probably the most obscure song on the album, but I love it. Miss Fogarty's Christmas Cake. I think it's an Irish song. It is a toe tapper. The lyrics are hilarious. Oh, friends, you need to listen to Candles, Snow, and Mistletoe, or watch Candles, Snow, and Mistletoe. Now, brace yourselves because it does have a low-budget Canadian broadcasting company feel to it, but I think that kind of enhances the sweetness and enhances the magic. And like I said, the main attraction is the music. It is holiday music at its absolute finest. Just throw on the album while you're wrapping Christmas presents. It is available on YouTube and on YouTube Music. I think they changed the name of the album, so it's no longer Candles, Snow, and Mistletoe. Just let me look it up. Okay, yeah, so now the album is called Sharon, Lois, and Bram's Family Christmas, a celebration of Christmas and Hanukkah. I'm not exactly sure why they would call it Family Christmas when it is a celebration of Christmas and Hanukkah, but not their marketing person. Listen to the album, you will not be sorry. And if you want to get a little taste of what it was like to be Matt in Canada at Christmas in the early 90s, just watch the special. Anyway, friends, with that, this concludes yet another holiday episode of Teacup for One. So let me know in the comment section down below, have you been lucky enough to see any of my favorite obscure Christmas specials? And if not, what's your favorite obscure Christmas special that nobody else remembers? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to be the first to know when I release more videos about Christmas, Disney, Shakespeare, cats, Funko Pops, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you haven't subscribed already, it is so easy. All you have to do is click on my face. Thanks for joining me again today, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the Teacup for One. Go listen to Candle, Snow, and Mistletoe.